Among history's most remarkable figures, Maria Christina was born on the 13th of May in 1742 in Vienna, part of the Holy Roman Empire. A renowned duchess from the royal court of Austria, she lived in a world filled with grandeur secrets and strong family ties. What makes her story unforgettable? Was it her deep bond with her powerful mother, or her bold choices in love? How did she handle being both a favorite and a target within her royal household? Please watch my full video until the end, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please make sure to share it with your friends. Thank you. Now, let us dive into the full story. Maria Christina, often called Mimi by those close to her, came into the world on the same day her mother turned 25. Her mother was Maria Theresa, the mighty ruler of Austria, and her father was Francis, who later became the Holy Roman Emperor. From the beginning, Maria Christina was different from her many brothers and sisters. She was the fourth daughter, but only the second one to survive early childhood. Her parents, especially her mother, showered her with affection, making her the favorite child of the Empress. Because of this special treatment, the other royal children grew jealous. Letters and court gossip tell us that her siblings often avoided her and whispered behind her back. But Maria Christina stayed close to her mother, who gave her plenty of guidance and opportunities. This close bond would shape her life in both happy and difficult ways. The early years of Maria Christina's life were full of both love and conflict, setting the stage for a future filled with triumphs and heartbreak. Maria Christina's relationship with her mother, Maria Theresa, was one of the most unique and powerful in the royal family. From a very young age, she was clearly her mother's favorite child. The Empress often expressed this love in personal letters and gestures that made it clear to everyone at court. This special bond gave Maria Christina a strong sense of confidence, but it also came at a cost. It caused deep jealousy and resentment from her brothers and sisters, many of whom never forgave her for being so close to their mother. Her siblings felt that Maria Christina received unfair treatment. She was given more attention, better clothes, and more freedom to express her opinions. Over time, the family tension grew. Her brothers and sisters often left her out of their activities and formed tight bonds with one another to keep her isolated. They saw her not just as their sister, but as their mother's spy and favorite. Maria Theresa's love was not blind, though. She gave Maria Christina a careful and proper education and expected her to be a good example to the rest of the family. She often used her daughter to deliver messages or influence others within the royal household. This added even more pressure and caused Maria Christina to struggle with balancing her loyalty to her mother and her wish to be accepted by her siblings. Despite all this, Maria Christina stayed close to the Empress throughout her life. She tried to remain kind and polite to her family, even when she knew they disliked her. These early rivalries and family tensions would shape many of her choices as an adult, especially when it came to matters of love, marriage, and political duty. Maria Christina grew up in a palace filled with books, music, and conversation. As a young girl, she received a careful and thoughtful education that matched her royal status. Her parents wanted her to be wise, graceful, and prepared for a life at court. A Jesuit teacher named Father Lackner taught her languages and history. She became fluent in Italian and French, both of which she loved to speak, and she even learned English quite well. Maria Christina was known for being clever and creative. People at court often said she had a sharp wit and a lively personality. Unlike many others in her family, she was not just interested in politics or power. She had a deep love for the arts. Drawing and painting were her favorite hobbies, and her talent quickly became obvious. Her artwork was displayed inside Esch-en-Brunn Palace and included portraits of her family, as well as copies of famous European paintings. She also had a kind and cheerful nature, which made her popular with some and misunderstood by others. Her governess, Princess Maria Caroline, was strict and unkind, making life difficult at first. But later, Maria Christina was given a new governess, Countess Vasquez, who treated her with more respect and kindness. This change brought peace to her daily life and allowed her creative side to shine even more. As Maria Christina entered her teenage years, emotions and affection began to shape her life in new ways. Around the age of 17, she had a short romance with Louis Eugene, the Duke of Württemberg. However, her mother, Maria Theresa, believed that Louis Eugene's rank was too low for a royal marriage. As a result, the Empress ended the relationship before it could go further, teaching Maria Christina that love would not always be her choice to make. But a deeper and more lasting connection soon followed her friendship with Isabella of Parma. Isabella was beautiful, gentle, and highly intelligent. She married Maria Christina's older brother, who later became Joseph II, Holy Roman Emperor. Though Isabella was now her sister-in-law, their friendship went far beyond family ties. The two young women spent many hours together, playing music, talking about art, and sharing their feelings. Their bond grew so strong that people at court compared them to Orpheus and Eurydice, a famous pair from ancient stories. Maria Christina and Isabella exchanged nearly 200 letters, often written in French. These letters revealed how much they cared for one another and how close their emotional connection truly was. Maria Christina even drew and painted portraits of Isabella, showing the deep admiration she felt. But their friendship was cut short in 1763, when Isabella died shortly after giving birth. The loss devastated Maria Christina. She mourned deeply and never forgot her beloved friend. This tragedy left a lasting scar and added a layer of sadness to her heart that she would carry for many years to come. After the heartbreak of losing Isabella, Maria Christina slowly began to heal. In the years that followed, she developed a quiet but growing affection for Prince Albert of Saxony. Their connection began during court visits and musical events, where they had the chance to speak and enjoy one another's company. Albert admired her grace, intelligence, and artistic spirit. Maria Christina, in turn, appreciated his kind heart and steady nature. However, they both knew that their romance would not be easy. At first, Albert believed he was not high-ranking enough to marry a daughter of the Empress. He was worried that political reasons would keep them apart. And he was right. Maria Christina's father, the Emperor, had already planned to marry her off to Prince Benedetto of Savoy, someone she did not love. But Maria Christina was not like her sisters. She had the strong support of her mother, Maria Theresa, who understood her daughter's feelings and promised to help. When the emperor suddenly died in August of 1765, everything changed. With her father gone, Maria Christina was finally free to follow her heart. Her mother kept her promise and arranged the match with Albert. The couple became engaged in April of 1766 and were married just 6 days later on the 8th of April at Schloss Hof. Maria Christina wore a white dress decorated with pearls, while Albert wore his military uniform. Though court mourning meant most guests wore black, the joy between the couple was easy to see. Their marriage was not arranged for politics, but for love, something very rare among royals of that time. After their wedding, Maria Christina and Albert moved to Pressburg, the capital of Hungary at the time. There, they were given a large castle, which was carefully renovated just for them. Their new home became a place of beauty and learning. Maria Theresa, always thinking of her daughter's comfort, made sure they had fine furniture, dishes, and even servants. The couple was surrounded by more than 100 household staff, allowing them to live in style. Even though Pressburg was far from the busy life of Vienna, Maria Christina and Albert brought culture and charm to the city. They held grand events, dances, and art exhibitions. Many people in the city began to admire them. Hungarian nobles and local citizens were drawn to their kindness and taste. Maria Christina's love for art continued to grow. Together with Albert, she started collecting beautiful drawings and engravings. This shared hobby later became the foundation for the famous Albertina art collection. Their palace turned into a small center of creativity, where artists, musicians, and scholars felt welcome. Although Maria Christina had suffered losses and family tensions, her time in Pressburg gave her peace and purpose. It was here that she could enjoy life with the man she loved, while also building a cultural legacy that would last far beyond her years. In the year 1780, a major change came to Maria Christina's life. After the death of Charles Alexander of Lorraine, her mother's will named Maria Christina and Albert as joint governors of the Austrian Netherlands. This appointment was both an honor and a challenge. Sadly, Maria Theresa passed away later that year, and now Maria Christina had to carry out her duties under the rule of her brother, Joseph II. Joseph II had always felt distant from Maria Christina. He had been jealous of her close relationship with their mother and wanted to keep her influence under control. Even though he confirmed her role as governor, he reduced her income and limited her political power. Instead of allowing her to make real decisions, Joseph assigned advisors who would tell her what to do. She and Albert were mostly expected to act like symbols of the crown, not real leaders. Still, Maria Christina and Albert took their roles seriously. On the 10th of July in 1781, they entered Brussels with pride and dignity. They made their official residence there and tried their best to serve the people. Although their power was limited, they used their time to build friendships, promote the arts, and live with grace. One of their favorite projects was the construction of the Palace of Laeken, a summer home where they added to their growing art collection. Though Maria Christina could not control the politics around her, she brought a touch of elegance and culture to her position. Her time in Brussels marked the beginning of a new chapter filled with quiet strength and careful diplomacy. Maria Christina's peaceful work in the Austrian Netherlands did not last long. By the middle of the 1780s, her brother, Emperor Joseph II, pushed forward a series of reforms that caused a lot of anger among the people. These changes affected schools, churches, taxes, and the way provinces were governed. Although the emperor believed he was modernizing the empire, the people in the Austrian Netherlands saw his actions as unfair and disrespectful to their traditions. Maria, Christina, and Albert were ordered to carry out these reforms, even though they personally disagreed with them. They warned the emperor that the people were growing restless, but their advice was ignored. Tensions rose quickly. On the 30th of May in 1787, an angry crowd stormed Maria Christina's residence in Brussels. They demanded that she remove the emperor's unpopular minister. Fearing for their lives, she and Albert gave in and pulled back the order. However, this only made things worse with Joseph II, who blamed them for being too soft. He replaced their officials and brought in new generals to keep order by force. The situation became more dangerous. In 1789, inspired by the French Revolution, the people of Brabant and Flanders started their own rebellion. A group known as the Patriot Army entered Brussels, and on the 18th of November, Maria Christina and Albert were forced to flee. Their flight marked a turning point. They had lost control, and for the first time, Maria Christina saw just how fragile her position truly was. Though she tried to serve with grace, she was now caught between her brother's strict orders and a rising wave of public resistance. After being forced to flee Brussels in November of 1789, Maria Christina and Albert found shelter in the home of her younger brother, Archduke Maximilian Francis, in Bonn. Though they had lost their official positions, Maria Christina did not give up easily. She continued writing letters and trying to support the rule of the emperor in the Austrian Netherlands. In one letter written on the 12th of December, she asked the Archbishop of Mechelen to help restore peace, but her hopes were not answered. In January of 1790, the region declared itself an independent republic called the United Belgian State. Just a month later, Joseph II died, and their brother Leopold became the next emperor. Maria Christina had a much better relationship with Leopold, and they exchanged many letters. She offered advice and support as he tried to find a peaceful way to take back control. Leopold's smart leadership worked in his favor. The new republic was already falling apart because of fights between its two main political groups, the Statists and the Vonkists. Without firing a shot, the Austrian army retook Brussels in December of 1790. Maria Christina and Albert returned on the 15th of June in 1791. People welcomed them politely, though many remained unsure of their return. This second chance came with more real power than before. Maria Christina worked closely with Leopold's new minister, Count Franz von Metternich, to restore order. She tried to rule more firmly, learning from past mistakes. Though it was a time of worry, Maria Christina showed she could adapt and take leadership seriously during uncertain times. The peace Maria Christina helped restore did not last long. In March of 1792, her brother Leopold died suddenly, and rumors of poisoning spread through the court. His son, Francis II, became the new emperor. Although he allowed Maria Christina and Albert to stay on as governors, the political world around them was falling apart once again. That same year, revolutionary France invaded the Austrian Netherlands. On the 6th of November, the French general Charles Dumouriez defeated the Austrian forces at the Battle of Jemappes. Maria Christina and Albert were forced to flee for a second time. This time, they escaped with their precious art collection, sending it by ship. Sadly, one of the ships sank during a storm, and many valuable pieces were lost forever. The couple settled quietly in Dresden, Albert's hometown, and later moved to Vienna. Their once joyful life became quieter and more serious. Albert focused on managing their surviving art collection, while Maria Christina spent more time in thought. She had become deeply affected by the wars and the changes sweeping across Europe. When she learned about Napoleon's rise and the signing of the Treaty of Campo Formio in 1797, she was heartbroken. Maria Christina's health began to fade that same year. She suffered from stomach pain and traveled to Teplitz for healing baths, which helped only for a short time. In the summer of 1798, her condition worsened. After writing a tender farewell letter to Albert, where she expressed her deep love, she passed away on the 24th of June at the age of 56. Her long and complicated journey had finally come to an end. Maria Christina's final days were quiet, filled with reflection and pain. As her health worsened in the summer of 1798, she prepared herself for the end. She had long been troubled by stomach issues, and after several short recoveries, her body could no longer keep fighting. Just before she died, she wrote a heartfelt farewell letter to her beloved husband, Albert, expressing her lifelong love and devotion. The next day, on the 24th of June in 1798, she passed away in Vienna at the age of 56. The cause of death was later believed to be poisoning from dirty water. Her death deeply affected Albert, who had shared so many years by her side. To honor her memory, he commissioned a magnificent tomb in the Augustinian Church of Vienna. The cenotaph was designed by the famous sculptor Antonio Canova and became one of the most admired works of neoclassical art in Europe. It is striking not only for its beauty, but also for its symbolism. There are no traditional Christian symbols, but instead, several images linked to Freemasonry and Enlightenment thinking. The design reflects both her character and the values of the time. Maria Christina was laid to rest in the Imperial Crypt of Vienna, in the section known as the Tuscan Vault. Her heart was buried separately, in a special silver urn kept in the Herzgruft. located behind the Loreto Chapel in the same church. Years later, Albert was buried beside her, along with their daughter who had died in infancy. Her tomb stands as a quiet but powerful reminder of a royal woman who loved deeply, lived artistically, and endured the storms of history with grace. Maria Christina's life may have ended in 1798, but her legacy lived on through both art and memory. She was one of the rare royal figures who married for love, not politics, and this choice made her life story stand out from those of her many siblings. Though her time in power was filled with struggles and political limits, she remained a graceful and thoughtful leader who tried to balance duty with compassion. Perhaps her most lasting contribution was the creation of the Albertina art collection. Alongside her husband, she collected thousands of valuable drawings, engravings, and works by famous European artists. These treasures formed the foundation of what would later become one of the most respected art museums in the world. Even today, visitors to Vienna can admire pieces once chosen by Maria Christina and Albert, reflecting their shared passion and vision. The grand tomb designed by Antonio Canova also became part of her lasting image. It drew attention not only for its beauty, but also for its modern design, which used symbols from Enlightenment ideals instead of traditional religious imagery. The tomb still stands in the Augustinian Church, visited by those who wish to honor her memory. Maria Christina's story reminds us of the strength it takes to remain kind in the face of rivalry, and the courage it takes to follow one's heart. Her life was filled with love, art, and quiet strength, and for that, she continues to be remembered with admiration. Thank you very much for watching.